The set him have you think I will maintain a year. This is a book with her senior bonnet. Saying her do it. You never saw your chain in the love body. So I did about that. Each of who young and only duty Piavio. Which I told them.
Shadow says, today he would like to explain about the abstention of second precept, abstaining from taking things which aren't given. Shadow would like to explain with some illustrations what kind of benefit people will get if they abstain the second precept, and what kind of disadvantage or defect they will get if they break it. Shadow would like to give, to make it clear, some examples, to have some proofs about the matter.
Those are who you die, leave a pine sea in your possession. See Shaja May, so I guess I go years at the annual Shamali Hanu. So, me go a Usaya Pashima, Niji, who got a mechanical solution, and Madia logo Madia Madidi Pilushi, or Saya Usashi had a sea word at the
If somebody steal others' property, rob others' property, take away by force others' property, how much trouble those people will get as the possessors of the property. People need to think, replacing themselves on that place, to realize the suffering feeling of the owners. Having the feeling themselves as the owners, and try to feel oneness with the owners. Therefore, the second precept also should be avoided, having the feeling of oneness with the other people. Then only we can see the trouble, the suffering, and the painful feelings by those people who are trying to destroy others' belongings, others' properties.
The Nangalogo, take Louis Huja. The other thing, Ocho needed Nangan Shin, Piani Mibiari, Sweet of Murari, Nangan Nangandari, ခံမရနိုင်တော့အောင်ပေါ့လေစိတ်ဆင်းရဲကြတာလေဒါရှိကထင်ရှားခဲ့ပါတယ်ယခုခေတ်လည်းပဲဒီမိုကရေစီနည်းအရတရားသဖြင့်အုပ်ချုပ်နေတဲ့စုအဖွဲ့ကြီးစုအဖွဲ့ဆိုင်ရာပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေပေါ့အာဏာတွေပါအတင်းအားအသုံးပြုပြီးတော့သိညာတွေပါလည်းပဲအကုန်လုံးနေရပါပဲလူရတက်ခိုက်ပြီးတော့ယူတဲ့သဘောမျိုးပါပဲအဲဒီလိုအခြေအနေမျိုးရောက်တော့မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်သက်ဆိုင်ရာပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေအလုံးစင်းရပါပါပဲ
In ancient times there were some powerful kings who tried to seize others' property, others' belongings, others' throne, and the concerts, and the whole countries. How much trouble they would have feeling themselves when they were seized by the powerful kings. How much they would get sorrow, lamentation in their mind when they were plundered by those powerful kings and officers. Not only those ancient days, such acts were occurred, but nowadays also there could be same type of behavior in this world. If the powerful country or powerful government tries to seize the weakening countries and give a lot of trouble to them, making them away from their possessions, away from their belongings, and they may put them in various disastrous atmosphere. How much they will get difficulties themselves, we can realize ourselves while we are living in the democratic countries. So therefore, those seizing and taking something by force from others could be included in this second precept.
ရလိုက်တဲ့နိုင်ငံရေးရှိအလုပ်ကိုင်တွေပေါ့လေလုပ်ငန်းကိစ္စတွေပေါ့အဲ့ဒါတွေမလုပ်နိုင်ကြတော့ဘူးအဲ့တော့လုပ်ဖို့အခွင့်အရေးလည်းပဲမရကြတော့ဥစ္စာပစ္စည်းတွေလည်းပဲစာဝတ်နေရေးတွေပေါ့ဥစ္စာပစ္စည်းရှားပါပြီးတော့စာဝတ်နေရေးကြက်တဲ့တော့ပြင်းပြသွားတယ်ကိုယ်စိတ်ချင်းရဖြစ်ကြတာတွေအများကြီးပါဒါကြောင့်ဒီအရိဏဒါနအမှုဟာဥစ္စာရှင်များကိုအဆက်ဆက်နှလားမထူအောင်လို့ဖြစ်စီနှိမ့်ဆက်တဲ့အမှုကြီးတစ်မျိုးပဲဆိုတာအလုံးထင်ရှားပါတယ်
When the powerful government seizes others' property by force, by their strength, all the citizens will get in trouble. They lose not only they lose their possessions, they lose everything, whatever they belongs. Whatever they possess. Even sometimes there would be difficulties for them to provide edible food and necessary aspects which are important for them to provide for their everyday life. So in this way, all the people will get unimaginable suffering in their life. They get trouble in their life. They are feeling too much unhappiness in their life. In this way, taking things from others which aren't given is really the troublemaker in this world, as well as in the community, in the society, even to an individual.
ကျင်းပါတာအယူဆမှာတော့တနည်းအားမှာသူတို့ပြထားတယ်မိမိတို့ပိုင်တဲ့ပစ္စည်းဟာအပြင်အသက်ပါတဲ့ခန္ဓာကိုယ်ထဲမှာရှိနေတဲ့အသက်ကတော့သဘာဝအသက်ကတော့သူကတော့အတွင်းအသက်ပါတဲ့အတွင်းအသက်ကိုတတ်ဖို့ရရှောင်ကျင်ရတယ်လို့ထို့အတူအပြင်အသက်နဲ့တူတဲ့သူပိုင်ပစ္စည်းပေါ့လေအဲ့ဒါမျိုးကိုလည်းပဲဖြစ်စည်းမပြည့်ရဘူးလို့ဒါလည်းပဲနည်းနည်းတော့သဘာဝကျတယ်လို့ရှိတယ်ဘာဖြစ်လို့လဲဆိုတော့အပြင်အသက်နဲ့တူတဲ့သူပိုင်ပစ္စည်းကိုလေအဲ့ဒါတွေကိုအာတုံးပြုပြီးတော့လူရဲ့တက်ခဲ့ဖြစ်စည်းတဲ့အတွက်နိုင်ကျင့်တဲ့အတွက်လူတွေဟာစိတ်မထိန်နိုင်ပဲနဲ့ချက်ချင်းလည်းတည်သွားတာလည်းရှိတယ်တောကလေးရောက်ပြီးတော့ယောဂလေးရပြီးတော့တည်သွားတာလည်းရှိတယ်ပြီးတော့ဒီလိုတည်ရတာဟာကိုယ်ပိုင်ပစ္စည်းဆုံးရှုံးနေနာသွားလို့တည်ရတာဆိုတာပေါ့အဲဒါပြင်တဲ့တတ်တယ်လို့ပေါ့ဒီဖြစ်သွားတာဒါတော့ယုတ်တိရှိတယ်လို့ပြောင်းနေပါတယ်အကျဉ်းပါကအယူဆဒီလိုယူဆထားတာ
According to the Jainism, they have their own saying. The possession or the property is the outward life of the people, and the hidden inward life itself another inner life. So there are two types of life. As we have to protect the inner life to survive in this world, and we shouldn't try to take away others' life, in the same way, people shouldn't try to harm the outward life, taking others' property by force or taking others' property without any permission from the possessors or owners. It seems reasonable, Sayadaw says, because when people lose their properties, they have to give up their properties because of the forceful taking away by others. Sometimes because of the strong sorrow and lamentation, they could die immediately. Sometimes they get strong forceful sickness or diseases because of the harmful feeling themselves in their mind at how they are plundered, how they are put aside from their possessions. So in this way, great suffering could create such sickness and diseases through which they have to give up their life. So therefore, the outward possession is the outer life of the people.
Adilo Adina Dana Amu Yoma Shawjimiro Adina Dana Wudi Dilago Toromia Sanjijame Suye Edi Senior Yogo Kabama Dumi Yadam Mahoba Dilo Sanji Champion Kabadu Gavara Haleve Utane Sabido Lunjo Yeri Toro Tota Yaban.
So therefore Sayadaw says, if the people abstain from stealing, robbing and plundering, then people will get freedom, not to have any difficulty to protect their possessions, to keep in safety their possessions. They don't have any kind of uneasiness to keep their property without having any trouble. In this way, the peaceful condition could be created in this world through the observance of the second precept, as the abstaining from taking things which are not given. If not, there would be a lot of unwholesome results. People couldn't get any safety. They have to have fear all the time in their mind that there would be somebody who would try to seize their property by force, or by plundering, or by taking away. By stealing. So in this way there will be great burden in the mind of the people in this world to make them free. So therefore Sayadaw says that it is really beneficial to avoid not to take anything without having given to it.
As a senior Yogo Madriya Usolushi Adina Dana Urati Dilaha Avadugavandamia, senior to Kama the Kego Lulak Yazi Hane Kusin of Sha Chandasi Hane Yichi the Dila Ita Kuve Tunga Taipara.
So therefore we can easily reflect that the second precept also is prescribed there to give bliss and happiness to the people in this world. So abstention of the stealing is really the remarkable act to have peace and happiness oneself, as well as to give peace and happiness and create the pleasurable condition or environment in this world.
Yeah, that year, Kami Sukmecha Jara will deal with it. That is pure one, eh? You know, Daddy Mishane to it. That's a Yaboko, Tika Pune, Shane and do it. That's a Yaboko, Chana Puni, Lady Shipjabame.
Now Sayadaw would like to tell you about the third precept, abstaining from illicit sexual misconduct. If people observe the third precept, how much benefit they will get, and if they couldn't abstain from that precept, then what type of difficulties could arise to them.
ကာမဂုဏ်အတွေ့ဟာဥရဇင်များပါတော့ထူးခြားတဲ့အာယုတစ်မျိုးဖြစ်တာမလို့အဲ့ဒီအတွေ့ပစ္စည်းကိုအခြားပစ္စည်းတဲ့ပို့ပြီးတော့ခင်မြင်ကြတယ်လို့စာကတော့ဒီလိုဆိုပါတယ်
In the text it is said, among all sorts of sensual pleasures, the touchable sensual pleasure is the greatest one. All other sensual pleasures could be given up, but the touchable sensuous pleasure difficult to give up.
ဒါကတော့အဲ့ဒီကာမဂုဏ်အတွေ့နဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့စီးနဲ့ကန်းနဲ့ပေါ့လေနေတဲ့ထိုင်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကြီးအဖို့ရတော့အဲ့ဒီစာတွေကတော့တော်တော်မှန်ပေါ်ရရှိပါတယ်ဘယ်လိုပဲဖြစ်စေလူသားတွေကတော့များသောအားဖြင့်အာယု၅ပါးထဲမှာဆိုလို့အာယု၆ပါးထဲမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဒီကာမဂုဏ်အတွေ့ကိုတော့ဉာဏ်လို့ကြတာများလိမ့်မယ်ဆိုတာပေါ့လေညင်းလို့မရပါဘူး
Those people who are dwelling within the rules and regulations under the guardians themselves, it might be true for them, but it is also true that among those 6 types of or 5 types of sensual pleasures, the touchable sensual pleasure is difficult to discard. No one can easily give up the sensual pleasure of touch. So therefore, Sayadaw says that all the other sensuous pleasures could be overwhelmed by the sensuous pleasure of touch.
မိမိပိုင်ဆိုင်တဲ့မိမိအလိုမြတ်လို့တဲ့အဲ့ဒီလိုကာမအတွေ့မျိုးကိုအခြားသူများအားအယူနာမဟုတ်လို့ရှိရင်ကြည်ပြူနဲ့ပိုင်ပေးဖို့မဆိုထားတဲ့ခိတ္တမြတ်တော်မှပြီးနိုင်ကြမှာမဟုတ်ပါဘူး။တနည်းအားဖြင့်လည်းပဲနှောက်ယှက်လူယူတဲ့ဘယ်ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်မဆိုဘူးပေါ့လေ။ဉာဏ်လူကြီးအစ်စ်လို့တစ်ထစ်ချမှတ်ယူလို့ရှိကြတယ်ဆိုတာကျမ်းဂန်များမှာဒီလိုဆိုမိချက်ရှိပါတယ်။
In the text it is mentioned that the person or people who possess the pleasurable under the well-controlled sensuous pleasures as touch, it is difficult to offer to others which they belong themselves. If other people try to take away their belonging which is under their control, they try to think those people, they are really their enemies. So they would like to destroy to them totally and stamp out them totally if they try to take away those touchable sensual pleasures from them.
ဒါကြောင့်သူပိုင်တဲ့ကာမကိုကာမအတွေ့ကိုခိုးလူပြီးတော့ယူလို့ရှိရင်ပိုင်ရှင်ဖြစ်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်မှာအခြားပစ္စည်းကိုလူယူသွားတာတဲ့နည်းနည်းနောနောပေါ်ဒီဆင်းရဲရှာလိုက်မယ်ဆိုတာပေါ့လေဒါစာနာစိတ်ရှိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တိုင်းတွေးကြရဖြစ်လာပါတယ်
So therefore, Sayadaw says, although people could give other sensuous pleasures easily, but the sensuous pleasure as the touch, difficult to give up, difficult to keep aside. So therefore, whenever there will be some problem in their life about that pleasure, they couldn't really bear it easily. There would be strong, severe pain or wound in their heart if they have to lose that belongings which they possess wholeheartedly themselves. Therefore, those people who have really such feeling, other people also might have same type of feeling if we try to disturb their pleasurable, disturb on their pleasurable things. So therefore, those people who have the oneness feeling with others, they might clearly realize others' feeling if somebody breaks down the rule of the third precept and try to take away their belongings as the best pleasurable object, as the touch feeling.
တကယ်လို့များခုခံနိုင်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့အသက်ချင်းတော်လဲပြီးတော့ယူဖို့ရန်တည်ကြပါတယ်အခုကာလလည်းပဲဒီလေဖောက်ပြန်ရင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကာမဂိုဏ်တွေကမကြည်နပ်လို့အချင်းချင်းတက်ကြဖြတ်ကြတာဒီတင်ချင်းပြစ်ကြတာတွေဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီစီးနေလို့ကြတာတွေပြဿနာတွေဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတာလည်းကြာခဏတာတွေကြုံပါတယ်ဒါဟာဒီကိစ္စမှာမဆောင်စည်းနိုင်တဲ့အတွက်ဒီလိုအကြီးအကျယ်ပြဿနာတွေဖြစ်ရတယ်ဆိုတာအလွန်ထင်ရှားပါတယ်လူမှုကျင့်ဝတ်ကြီးတရားကိုမကျင့်မဲနဲ့ပေါ့လေဒီလိုဖောက်ပြန်တဲ့အတွက်ဖြစ်ရတယ်ဆိုတာအလွန်ထင်ရှားတယ်တက်စင်ရတယ်လည်းပဲမတက်မတာဖြစ်ရတာခုချက်ဒီစင်းရစိတ်စင်းရဖြစ်တယ်လည်းမထင်ရှားရတယ်
If the people who are losing their pleasurable object, if they have real strength within themselves, they would be ready to fight with those people who were taking away his possession or their possession. They would be ready to die and die themselves and to kill those people who were really giving trouble to them. We can see those examples now and then in our everyday life. There are such examples that because of the difficulties in living together with such people who have some misconduct in observing the third precept, there would be a lot of problems could be created. And because of the breaking of the third precepts, between those two peoples get enmity each other. Not only they get the enmity each other, but those who are coming in between to them, they also become enemies, and in this way there grow the enmity, and that enmity doesn't stop. Without doing any harm to each other, they are really there to shoot others as well as to shoot themselves, and their ending is the death. So in this way, lot of problems could be easily created because of the breaking of third precept. They couldn't live alive themselves, and they couldn't give any chance to live alive to those people who are interfering in between their affairs.
จิตကိုတန်ဖိုးမထားဘဲနဲ့အခိုက်အတန့်စိတ်ဖြော်ပြီးလောက်သာအဓိကထားပြီးတော့တဏှာလောဘအလိုလိုက်ပြီးတော့ပေါင်းတင်ဆက်ဆံတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေဖို့ရတော့ဘာမှပြဿနာမဖြစ်နိုင်လို့จิตကိုတန်ဖိုးထားပြီးတော့အချင်းချင်းပေါ်မှာသစ္စာရှိရှိနဲ့ပေါင်းတင်ဆက်ဆံတဲ့ကာမပိုင်တဲ့မှာတော့ဒီကိစ္စမျိုးပေါ်ပေါက်မယ်ဆိုရင်နည်းနည်းမှခံနိုင်ကြမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးနည်းနည်းမှသိခံနိုင်ကြမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးပြဿနာကတော့အကြီးအကျယ်ဖြစ်ဖို့တော့သိကြတယ်သက်ဆိုင်ရာတွေမှာလည်းပဲအကြီးအကျယ်ကိုစိတ်ဆင်းရဲတွေဖြစ်ဖို့လည်းဒါသိကြပါတယ်
In those communities where there is no such value among the loving affairs between their life, there won't be such problem. But those who are really giving much importance in love as well as in purity of their social life, and who are really trying to protect their good behavior, not to break it. If there something could happen in their life, it is sure there would be lot of problem could arise. So that is why Sayadaw says, in such society where they give much preference to the family life and love between married people, and they try to live in truthful way, if there could arise some problem because of breaking their social affairs, that would be the serious problem, and there could arise dangerous effect.
လူစည်းကမ်းဆိုတာလူပြီးသားတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်တွေမှာရှိတယ်မှာလေဒီစည်းကမ်းဟာလူတွေချုပ်ချယ်ဖို့မဟုတ်ပါဘူးစည်းကမ်းရှိလို့ရှိရင်ဒီစည်းကမ်းဟာလူတွေအရေးအသွေးနဲ့အရေးအချင်းပေါ်လေတိုးတက်သွားအောင်ပိုက်ချတတ်မှတ်ပေးတဲ့စံတစ်ခုပါပဲ လူစီကံကြီးလို့ရှိရင်လူအစဉ်တန်းနေလူရည်တွေမြင်မပြီးတော့တက်လာတာပါလူစီကံမရှိလို့ရှိစီကံပြတ်လို့ရှိရင်လူအည်တွေနဲ့လူအည်ချင်းတွေဟာတခါလဲကြာဆင်းကုန်လာတယ်ဒါအလွန်သိရေးကြည့်ပါတယ်
So in this world, the discipline and the law-abiding nature is very important. It increases the humane nature and it protects the humane behavior. If there won't be any law-abiding and discipline in this world, there couldn't be any attributes in human beings and there couldn't be any value of human life. So therefore, it is necessary to try to protect the disciplinary code as well as to protect the humane nature, humane behavior, to raise the human standard.
ဒါကြောင့်ဘုရားမြတ်စွာကမိစ္ဆာပဏိယတံစိတ်တံပပိယောနံတတော်ကရေဒီကိုစိတ်နေစိတ်ထားမှာမှာလို့ဒီကိစ္စတွေမှာစောင့်ကြည့်မှုမရှိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဒီကိစ္စတွေမှာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်အခြားကိစ္စတွေမှာပဲဖြစ်ဖြစ်ပါစောင့်ကြည့်မှုမရှိတဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်သူရဲ့စိတ်ထားကအဲ့ဒီပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကိုအဆင့်အတန်းနှိမ့်ချစေပါလေသမ္မာပဏိယတံစိတ်တံရှိရသောနတတော်ကလေးဒီကုကဒီကိစ္စတွေမှာလူသားပြီးစောင့်ကြည့်လို့စိတ်အလိုမလိုက်ဖဲနဲ့ထိမ့်သိမ့်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ဟာသူရဲ့စိတ်ထားကအဲ့ဒီပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကိုအဆင့်အတန်းမြင်မသွားအောင်ညှစ်တင်ပေးလိုက်ပါလေဒါသိတဲ့ဘာဝကြတယ်ပုံမြင်ကြပါပဲ
So therefore the Buddha said that in this world the mind is the most important aspect. If the mind is well protected, well guarded, then people get abundant, wholesome result, which couldn't be created by any other aspect. But if the mind is not well trained, not well disciplined, not abide the law, then there couldn't be any bad effect which could create by the mind. So therefore, it is necessary to have discipline to raise our mental state, to raise our behavior, to have good protection ourselves, good guard ourselves, and to have the most beneficial result from them. So therefore, protecting the discipline and abiding in the law is the good training to gain good result from it. We couldn't observe the third precept because lacking those law-abiding mental training, not having disciplined mental state. So therefore, not to have any kind of bad effect, we need to train the mind to really understand how important the discipline as well as abiding in the law to raise our human society, to protect our humanity.
ဒီကိစ္စပါဝင်အခြားလူတွေကိုအကျိုးမပြုတဲ့မလျော်တဲ့အမှုတွေပေါ့လေရှောင်ကျဉ်ရမှာအရေးကြီးဆုံးဖြစ်တဲ့စိတ်ဓာတ်မပြုပြင်သေးလို့ရှိရင်ကိုယ်နဲ့နှုတ်နဲ့လည်းပဲစူးစူးဝါဖြစ်ဖို့ဒါသိကြပါလေအရင်ကကြားတဲ့စိတ်ကိုစဉ်းကျင်တုံညွှန်မြင်တုံလေးနဲ့ပြုပြင်လိုက်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်အထူးသဖြင့်အခုလိုစိတ်ဓာတ်ပုံရအတိမှန်တိုးစီနိုင်တဲ့စိတ်နဲ့သတိပဋ္ဌာန်ဘာဝနာတရားနဲ့ပြုပြင်ပေးလိုက်မယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ခုနလိုကိစ္စမျိုးဟာရွယ်ရွယ်လေးနဲ့ပဲရှောင်ကျဉ်နေတဲ့အပိုင်းရှိရောက်ပါတယ်အစောပိုင်းကတော့စဉ်းကျင်တုံနဲ့ရှောင်ကျဉ်ပါလေနောက်ပိုင်းရောက်တဲ့အခါကျတော့အလိုလိုရှောင်ကျဉ်နေတာဖြစ်သွားပါလိမ့်မယ်
So Sayadaw says, so therefore it is necessary to give good training to the mind, because mind is the most important aspect in this world. To have well organized society, to have well organized family life, to protect ourselves as well as to keep in safety to others. At first, we need to have far-sighted view to realize how important to train the mind, not to have any kind of unwholesome physical and verbal activities, and later on try to have real understanding about our own life through the practice of Visatipatthana Vipassana meditation, which is the highest and best way to train the mind.
ဘုရားကဟောကြားခဲ့ပါတယ်လူကျင့်ကိုပြည့်စည်တတ်တဲ့အလုံးမျိုးကိုပေါ့လေလုံပြီးတော့နောက်ခါပြန်ပြီးတော့စဉ်းစားမိတဲ့အခါဝိပရိစာရခေါ်တဲ့နှုံဒပူပါမှုမျိုးပေါ့အကြီးအကျယ်စိတ်ဆင်းရဲမှုမျိုးပေါ့ဖြစ်စေနိုင်တဲ့ဟာမျိုးကိုရှောင်ပါတဲ့ဒီလိုမိစ္ဆာစာရမှုမျိုးပြုပြီးလို့ရှိရင်နောက်ပြန်ပြီးအေးစေးစဉ်းစားတဲ့အခါမှာပူပါနဲ့စိတ်ထားမျိုးတွေဖြစ်မလားအေးချမ်းတဲ့စိတ်ထားမျိုးတွေဖြစ်မလားဆိုတာဒါစဉ်းစားရမှာပါပူပါနဲ့စိတ်ထားမျိုးတွေဖြစ်စေနိုင်တဲ့အရာဆိုရင်တော့ဒါရှောင်ရမှာကြီးပဲတဏှာချင်းချင်းနဲ့အေးချမ်းမှုဖြစ်စေနိုင်တဲ့အရာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ပြုရမယ်ဆိုတာပေါ့လေဒီနေ့ချက်ခွဲလိုက်လို့ရှိရင်ခုလိုမိစ္ဆာစာရမှုမျိုးကတော့ကျွလွန်ပြီးလို့ရှိရင်နောက်တစ်ခါပြန်စဉ်းစားတဲ့အခါမှာစိတ်ပူပါမှုပြုလို့တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်ကျွလွန်တဲ့ပုဂ္ဂိုလ်စိတ်ပူပါမှုအပြည့်ပေးဖို့တော့ဒါသိကြပါလေ
There is the saying of the Buddha, we shouldn't do such act through which later on we will get plenty of remorse and we repent a lot. It is necessary to avoid them, not to commit at any time. Sayadaw says the breaking the third precept also, similar type of unwholesome act. Once we commit that unwholesome act, whenever we try to reflect them, there will be all the time repentance and remorse in your mind. We couldn't gain any kind of calmness, coolness, peaceful moment because of that unwholesome act, breaking the humane law. So therefore it is necessary to try to think the demerit of that third precept. And it is also necessary to try to introspect the good result of that observance of third precept.
ဒါကြောင့်အဲ့ဒီလိုမိစ္ဆာစာရဘုရားလက်တွေ့ကြကြရှောင်ကျဉ်မှုဒီလဟာလေသူတို့ဘာလို့ရဲ့ရှင်းရမယ်အရေးကိုပေါ့လေးလေးနက်နက်